Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Alayne Gardner from Lodestar Software Solutions, Director of Revenue with them. How are you doing today, Alayne?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to have you on today's show. And I'm sure our listeners tuned in, listened to Lodestar Software Solutions and wondering what that's all about. So let's kick it off with that. Alayne, in your own words, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are a niche business-to-business solution. So we actually support closing costs for all 50 states in the mortgage disclosure process. So legitimately, I like to make this joke. If you're not familiar with housing and all of that, we fill out 2 sections on a form. And that's really all we do. If you ask me to explain what I do poorly, we have a calculator and I sell it, you know. But it's really interesting and it's honestly very data driven. And it's something that lenders need to get right because there are a lot of federal regulations around that and making sure that accurate to consumers. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Great to get that. That's super interesting, right? Especially it could always be a hassle for clients. So, and for our listeners who are tuning in with us, Alayne, and they could get a good understanding of your company, what would you say then to sum it up? What would you say is the key problem then that you solve for clients?
We allow them to accurately disclose on their loan estimate forms without risk of a tolerance cure, and allow it to go from a manual process to a almost completely automated process. So it's definitely something that's a huge time saver, and it's fun. Honestly, I really enjoy it. And as a company, we're a really fun company to follow online. If you are into mortgage stuff, we do a lot of memes, comic strips, podcasts, and we love to create content because at the end of the day, if we talked about closing costs all the time, it'd be quite boring.
That's something else. And so then, I mean, is it fair to say that you only have, or what would, let me ask, right? So let's not assume here, but who were your clients be? Is there a vertical segment that you guys like to focus
Yeah.
on?
So we specifically only sell to mortgage lenders. So we mortgage ops professionals is who we are. It's a weird job title. And one of the things that, from a marketer's perspective, we found that was a struggle in getting marketing tools as well as contractors and all of that was our solution is just so niche and it's such a small portion in a small industry that it's definitely one of the funnest challenges I faced as a marketer.
Definitely, that's awesome to hear. And so, how does a mortgage in this place company get in contact with you? What would you say is a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Our top client acquisition would be our website. We have on almost every single page, we have a little book a demo button. And it allows for a lender to go on, watch a video of our product. We're a huge one of our huge value components is clarity. So we actually will, on every single integration that we have about 10 different integrations into a loan origination system. We have a demo of our product as well as an ability for someone to book a demo with a salesperson for a more in-depth conversation about our solution. And about over 60% of our leads come through our website or another referral source like that.
Wow, that's a high conversion. So awesome to hear that from you guys there. So then is there any tools or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some lead generation?
Yeah, for us, it's really been about creating a brand that people could interact with. And remembering that at the end of the day, our solution is dry, right? There's no way around that. And I think sometimes when you have these really serious products, right, that are about, they're protected. We're saying that, we're heavily regulated. We are about TRID and all the regulation that came out of 2008 in America and all of that, right? We could talk about that for days on end. And I love talking about that. But at the same time, it's not something that's going to keep someone's attention for a long period of time unless they're super hyper interested in it, right? So we've found that as a brand, to get people willing to engage with us for a longer period of time and give them that conversion point and have them hear about us organically, we have to do something cool. And so our answer to that has been, we do mortgage memes on our social media page. We do video podcasting. We have a comic strip that's actually syndicated by a mortgage publication. And really, all of those things are built to drive traffic back to our website. Because if we can get them on the website, the chances of them booking a demo increases dramatically, right? And that's been something that we've seen is having the tools on our website to convert and allow them to instantly book a demo, make it as easy as possible for your clients to reach you. That's been our biggest thing, is every time we remove a hurdle for them to book that demo, we get more demos.
Definitely. That's awesome to hear from you. Great advice there for our listeners. But let's switch up gears here a little bit, Alayne, and let's talk about you as leader. You being the director of revenue there for Lodestar. What are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
So I lead both the sales and the marketing team, as well as really work on our partnerships as well. So I work on collaborative branding and collaborative efforts to co-market our solution with our integration partners, as well as dictate on what our team does from a high-level vision point. Our company is rather small. We're about 16 people. So I report directly to our CEO. So there's a lot of flexibility that comes with being in a small business, but it also means I do a lot of things as small as booking my team's flights, right? But I also do more high-level things, manage our marketing budget, and really make sure that every dollar we're spending ends up with a conversion.
That's the hardest part, right? I mean, at the end of the day, the CEO is going to look at you and be like, hey, you spend so much. Where's the conversion? So definitely tough task to have, but I'm glad you're taking it. It's tough, right? Both sales and marketing is always a tough thing, but glad that you're able to tackle it the way you do, Alayne. Awesome to hear that. But let's switch to our next section here, Alayne. It's our rapid fire question round. So are you ready for that?
Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome. First off, what is the last book that you read?
The Anxious Achiever is what I'm currently reading. I have anxiety, and it's actually been really helpful for me in just understanding how to leverage my anxiety in a positive way.
Okay, awesome. Great read there. For anyone who has anxiety, you can always check it out. Next up is, what is one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
We're currently launching a secret project. So on the backside, we've been working on that a lot. And it's been involving a lot of marketing automation tools that I haven't had to use before, as well as some new regulations that we haven't had to deal with in the past. So a lot of learning, as well as a lot of developing exciting new things that we'll be announcing in the next few months.
Okay, great. Read that. Great things. Now, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Oh, honestly, I think I don't love this is the thing that I don't love. I don't love the fact of paid advertising is something I really struggle with. I think organic content should be king. So I think there's a place for paid advertising, but I do not love like paid article placements are always one of my pet peeves is when you're reading something and then you get to the end and it says, this is an advertisement. And I'm like, it's like you feel a little sneaky here with your sponsored content. So that would be something I would do away with personally.
Okay, interesting. All right. And well, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Ooh. Sorting my emails. I need to get better about it. And I think there are some tools out there, but I wish they could actually highlight the tasks within the email and say, kind of do what your brain does when you read something of like, is this a respond? Is this not a respond? All of that. And especially when you're copied on a lot of things for your team's emails and all of that, it doesn't always necessitate a response. It's just something you need to be aware of. And I wish there was a filter that could do that for me.
Definitely. I think anybody out there with the one that if you get a lot of emails, definitely would want to segment those and which ones are the important ones, right? Definitely.
Yes.
All right. And well, lastly, Alayne, I mean, you have experience already in the marketing world, but what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Don't be afraid to be authentic. That's something that it took me a long time to get there. And I think if I had heard it earlier on, I would have been a little bit faster to that point. Is authenticity has brought me everywhere in my career. And I think it's super valuable. And I think it's where we're headed as a culture as well with marketing and all of that.
Definitely would agree with that. I mean, so much AI going on that at one point, right, authenticity can be some good stuff to have there with everybody. But Alayne, thanks a lot for being on the show with us today. I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about your company?
Um, that Lodestar creates wonderful memes. We create great content. And honestly, follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I create a lot of content there. I talk a lot. So if you enjoyed me, please go follow me on LinkedIn, Alayne Gardner.
Awesome. Whether you guys heard it, thank you so much, Alayne, for being on today's episode. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Alayne.
My pleasure.